COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
Evening, everyone. It was a dark and stormy night. We've got storms moving through parts of the area, especially down to southwestern Ontario, then up into the southern Georgian Bay and up through Muskoka. So I'm going to keep an eye on it during this hour. Probably here in the GTA, we'll probably see the first signs of this line of storms probably about 10 o'clock this evening. So there we are in Toronto. And we've had a lot of straight line winds, a lot of dust being kicked up, some pretty heavy winds, hail through now, so just pay attention to your local forecasts. I wonder if can I get rid of the winds on that? Hold on, where is my? I'll get the layer off that later on, but we're going to keep an eye on that for you right now. Take one more thing off your mind, I hope. I hope everybody is having a great day. It is stifling hot in some areas. It's not bad. Let's talk about what we're grateful for right now and this evening as we head into another show of Kevin's Isolators. We are in show 82, by the way. Grateful that the isolation is almost over. It's feeling that way. And by the way, next week, I'm dedicating the entire week to post-isolation. I want you to be better prepared for what a post-isolation world is going to be like. It's not going to be just getting back to life as normal. It is not. So we're going to talk about what you need to do to arm yourself mentally and what we can expect. But I'm also going to concentrate on the good. I want you to think about that as well. So that's why we're talking about being grateful for things right now. What good things happened during isolation? This was a time of learning. We learned a lot about ourselves and a lot about other people as well. Let me see. Did you feed? Oh, Marie Hatton says, did you feed your brain today? No, I was not good with my brain today. I was not a good person with my brain today. Grateful for the generosity of others, yes, and especially at times like this. And grateful it's going to cool down. Never thought we'd be saying that just a couple of weeks ago, right? But that's it. Okay, I want to introduce you now to my next guest. She is the founder of this incredible group in North Etobicoke that is called Trust 15.
Hello, Kevin.
Trust does not come easily in the neighborhood of North Etobicoke, but that did not slow this woman down one bit. Now that trust she earned is changing their lives literally tonight. My guest is Marcia Brown, the founder of Trust 15. And a little added bonus. Hi, Marcia. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my friend. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well, and we are going to pick people's pockets today because I am going to put a challenge to my viewers. Everybody give $15 tonight to Trust 15. And it's very simple. We've got the web address here. It is trust15.com. Very simple. There's a donate button, very prominent. Donate $15 just right now, and then come back on and tell me that you did that so that we can help out Marcia. And as you hear more about what she's going to be talking about, you're going to want to donate. How are you this warm evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Working hard, keeping up with everything I can, but I'm doing very well, thank you.
Tell people what Trust 15 is.
Okay, Trust 15 is an organization I created in 2010. I live in Etobicoke practically all my life, and I saw there was a need in my community of a lot of kids who weren't getting great opportunities. So I decided to photocopy 250 flyers, and each night after work, I would walk in the community and tell kids I would change their lives. I would even talk to the parents and tell them that I wanted to give them an opportunity that they would never have but change their lives forever. And for doing that, I did that for almost a month. And I tried to look for a location where I can have my first session. And 15 girls walked into my life. And that's where Trust 15 started. And now we're up to 245 youth in our program today.
And what do you do?
It's a mentorship program. We encourage young kids to believe in themselves. I bring in great role models, including yourself, Kevin, who have spoken to my kids, and show them that they have the potential to be whatever they want in life. And when I bring in great role models to come in and speak to them, you have seen a huge change in them. We even talk about topics that the kids need to know about. We ask them what they want to talk about, but we also give them the opportunity to express what they need. The program has worked extremely well because I believe in giving these young kids to be leaders and an opportunity to have a voice, and they have gotten their voice back.
I think the most important thing, and let's not beat around the bush, North Etobicoke, Rexdale, Thistletown, these areas, these are at-risk neighborhoods. These are marginalized communities.
Mhm.
And the one thing that is most needed here is hope. And that's what you do.
Absolutely. And I'm giving them back the hope. Tobico is a beautiful place, but when you walk around here and you see certain things that are happening and you don't see the motivation that these young kids are not getting, you have to take that role to realize that you cannot make the next generation go around not having anything. So I made a big sacrifice by doing a lot for these kids, showing them that they can have whatever they need in life. And now they see Etobicoke differently now because they know they have the potential to do things great in their lives. Education is the key. And I always tell these young kids, without education, you cannot go anywhere. If you get that, I can fill in the rest. And because of that, we have seen a huge change in these kids.
Marcia, I'm going to ask you because it's a little distracting, and I don't want anything to distract from your message. The camera keeps clamping down, clamping up. It's because I think of the low sun that's just coming through right now. Can you turn your laptop just so your background is a little bit different? No, over to your left a bit. If you could show me the back, the other way.
Okay.
Okay. And hopefully that'll settle your camera down from opening and shutting and opening and shutting. I hope. But I'm not a technician.
I hope that helps.
All right. Okay, so Carol just said I donated. I've seen a few other people say I donated. There's other people as well. So I want you to go to the website while we're talking. It's also on my Facebook page, just very simply, $15. That's all. Tell me the need, because hope is one thing. Sometimes hope costs. So what can you do with this money?
Oh, I can do a lot of stuff with this money. I can give kids what they need in life. What I've been doing right now is telling the young kids, tell me what they need. And so far, I've been getting lists telling me they need pencils, they need pens, they need clothes. There's so much that they need. And, we take things for granted because we live in a community and we don't know what's behind closed doors. But it's something simple that we take for granted they need. And right now, the list is getting longer. I tell the kids, give me until Friday. Tell me what you need. And Marcia will make sure I reach out to everyone that I know. And I'm hoping and praying that everyone will give me what I need for these young kids.
You're talking about simple things like pencils?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Right now, we're going through this coronavirus right now, right? And a lot of kids are not leaving the homes. The parents won't allow them to leave their homes. And so for them to get something simple as a pencil or a paper or even a eraser, people don't take these things for granted. We just run to a Dollar Map and pick it up, but a lot of people cannot go out at this moment. So they're asking me if I can reach out and get those stuff for them. I told these kids and I told the parents, do not be ashamed to ask me for anything. There's no time for that. It's time to help everybody. And I want to make sure that I bring hope into all these kids and joy.
Okay, so someone was asking how to donate. So let's go to the website right now because I want to show people how to do this. You go to trust15.com, and it's very simple. You just scroll down, and there's the donate button right there, and it brings you through everything. You go through CanadaHelps.org, so it is secure. It is a trusted site. Trust 15 is a registered association or a registered nonprofit, so it's all on the up and up. I can definitely vouch for Marcia. Most definitely, and for Trust 15. So how is isolation, because I want to talk about a number of things and how it's affecting your kids. How is isolation, first of all, having an impact on your kids?
Well, some of them are really having a difficult time being locked up in their homes. You have to realize that a lot of them live in apartments and a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, so they're kind of clustered together. And they're having a hard time what's the word they use? Miss, I can't breathe sometimes, or I just need to get out. But other children, right, are fine with it. They love being at home, right? And they're doing okay. But the majority of my kids are the ones who are suffering. And I get a lot of phone calls from them telling me, they just want to talk to someone. They want to come out. They want to do something. But at the same time, I have to be, as I am the leader of this organization and I care for all my kids, I'm telling them during this time of this coronavirus, your life is more important at the moment. So this is why I want to find ways to keep these kids occupied and give them the joys that they have when they're with me in the program. But this time we're going to have to do it online. And this is why I want to make sure I give them as much gifts as I can. For example, if you don't mind me saying this, Kevin, someone asked me, what do I want to give these kids? And Mark Anthony, who does the hair products, gave me 57 boxes of shampoo and conditioners. And because of the trust that the parents have with me, I told them to meet me at a location where there's a park and, a parking lot. And they all came. They had their mask on, their gloves and everything. But it's the trust they have for me. That's why they came out, and every family got shampoo, conditioner, cream, you name it. And I'm very grateful. So that's what I'm doing right now, to make sure that I fill those needs and give them some kind of joy at this moment.
Okay, so let's make a date, you and me. What are you doing? What are you doing Sunday night?
What am I doing? Well, you let me know. What can we do Sunday night?
Sunday night, I need you to bring the list that you're compiling.
Okay.
On Sunday night. I'm not promising we can do how much we can do.
Yes.
I'm going to try and put it out to my viewers.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people out there. Let's see what we can do together. There's much more strength in numbers.
Yes.
So folks, Sunday, is everybody into it? I hope everybody's into it, because we want to, these are our kids. Okay. Exactly. These are our kids. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where a kid is. They're our kids, and no kid should be left behind at all. How is the latest protests going on, especially south of the border? How is it impacting your kids?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that. Thank you. With some of I'm going to talk about my men of distinction. Some of them told me, Miss, we need to have a conversation about this. We can't be silent anymore. We want our voices to be heard the same way that you always keep telling us that we need to speak about certain things. We want to talk about this. So what's going to be happening in July? We're going to be having conversations about what's been going on over in the States and how it's going to be affecting us in Canada. I always tell these young kids that they're all leaders and they all have a voice. And now for them to reach out to me and tell me that this is a discussion that they really need to talk about, like they feel that they have a voice now more than ever. And they're doing it in the right way. I've always taught my kids to be great leaders. And if you want to be great leaders, you have to learn from the people who are going to show you the right path. And that's what I'm doing right now. And for them to want to talk about this, I'm very happy about it, because their voices need to be heard too. And that's the thing that we're lacking right now. We're not hearing enough from our young kids, what they feel about it.
How much does mental health play into what happens with these kids?
Oh, huge. It's huge. A lot. People don't understand that. I'm dealing with quite a few. And one thing I have to let everyone know, a lot of my kids know that I'm online. I always tell them everything, and I'm going to be talking about certain things. So they feel involved, that they're not left out. Yes, mental health is a huge impact in my program right now. A lot of people cannot handle being in the home, right? They're still dealing with a lot of issues that they weren't comfortable talking about at home, and now they're stuck dealing with it. And there's no one out there they can reach out to. So that's the difficult part I'm dealing with right now. Yes, they have me. They have a lot of my facilitators who volunteer their time with these kids, that they're talking to them. But there's so many of them that need support. And it's a huge burden right now. And I'm trying my best to make sure I get the right support for each of these kids who need it.
Folks, I want you to go right now, if you're just joining us, I want you to go to Trust15, so that's trust, the numerals 1 and 5.com, and donate $15. I'm not asking you for 100, I'm not asking you for 200, I'm not asking you for 1,000. It'd be nice if you could. But donate $15. There's also a place there you can donate per month, $15 a month. That would be wonderful as well. So the reason we're picking 15 is that I want it to be recognized, the work that you are doing, that my viewers in particular are doing, because I don't think people realize how important little things are. When we start talking about kids are needing pencil and paper and things like that, and now we're demanding our kids be at home for schooling, but a lot of these kids don't have computers. Or old computers, don't have the proper Wi-Fi, if they have Wi-Fi. Tell me about that.
So what I have been doing, remember, I have over 245 kids, and I have called every one of them. I've talked to the parents. I'm finding out, do you have a computer? Do you have any support on it? Some of them haven't. The ones who haven't, I have reached out to the principals. I have been getting some information how the parents can go through that process. But I've been helping the parents through the process. They need help too. They're struggling. They're having a difficult time. So I'm helping them through the process. And what has been amazing, they have been listening to me. The board has been listening to me, and they have been getting the information to getting the products that the kids need, the laptop and the internet service. And I'm always letting them, I always send an email back to them saying, I just wanted to thank you. My family has got their laptop and they're ready to learn. So I'm very grateful for that. So my voice is being heard and they're listening for my community. And I'm getting whatever I need. And it's very important that that is happening.
Marcia, I don't think there's any way your voice could not be heard. I'm just going to point that out. If anybody has ever had it's the fortune or the bad fortune to have Marcia on the other end of the phone. It all depends. But she fights for her kids. She just fights for them. I don't want to in any way sensationalize here or paint a picture that is false. Tell me about the kind of lives some of your kids are going through and how normal is it?
Okay. Well, let's start off with the good part. I have a lot of kids who are doing extremely well, right? They have great support from their families and anyone. But there's some of them who are struggling with a lot of issues they have dealt with their families, with certain things that are going on. And people don't seem to understand that they live in these wonderful apartments. They look so nice on the outside, but when you go in, there's issues. I'm not saying everyone has an issue, but quite a few of my kids do have issues. And sometimes they're embarrassed to reach out and tell certain people. What I do, they will let me know because of the trust they have for me. But I make sure I find the right people to help them. I can't do everything. And I reach out to so many people saying, hey, this is what's going on. If a kid has gone to a certain school, I would make sure the principal knows what's going on. We need to work together. We can't forget these young kids, right? There's so much they're going on. Everyone keeps saying it always starts at home. Well, if that's the case, then we need to help them when they're calling out for help, right? And when they need some help in certain situations. And that's why I have to make sure that I hear every one of their voices. It's a big sacrifice in my part, but this is something that I choose and want to do because I want to make sure that all my kids are safe, that my kids get the support, they get everything that they need to make sure that their life can go gratefully. Because I grew up in this community. I have my mother, a single parent, raised me, and she did working 12-hour shifts, doing everything she can to make sure that her kids made it, and we did well. Why can't I help the next generation of kids and help the parents also when they need help also? It's a passion that I have that I will continue to do until I see a change in my community.
Pam just asked, what's the range of age of the kids? And this is a good time to be talking about Ladies on the Rise and Men of Distinction, etc. So tell me about the different categories.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you different categories. I have ladies. Let's start off with Girls on the Rise. It's a literacy program. I encourage young kids to read and write. And it starts from ages of 7 to 11 years of age. Then it goes to Ladies on the Rise. That is my first program that I started when I started Trust 15, and that's from ages 12 to 19 years of age. That is a mentorship program where kids come in and express their concerns and topics, and I bring in amazing role models to come in. I also have another group called Boys of Excellence. It's also a literacy program, but also encourage these young boys to have a voice and also show them the right way. And this is where my Men of Distinction will come in and dedicate and help them out. And then I also have a Men of Distinction program. It's a mentorship program also to encourage them to have a voice and talk about topics that they need to address and show them how important it is to be a Men of Distinction. Last year, we just started a new program. We started a Spark program. It's a STEM program for young kids ages 7 to 11 years of age to give them the opportunity to start learning STEM at a young age. Because a lot of these kids want this opportunity and there's not enough space or time, and I want to make sure that they get all that they need.
In a lot of cases, too, these kids are having to help support families as well. Absolutely. And so they're working these jobs, not a lot of time for homework. Now, let's throw COVID on top of that, and nobody's working. No
one is working. They're all together in a house or apartment. Figure this out. You're living in an apartment, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment. 5 of you are all living in that same place together.
Heck, I can't stand to be living with Parker right in this apartment as it is. So,
yeah, I know I live in my house. If I get a little frustrated, I can just go downstairs because I need my space. But imagine what they're going through. I get a lot of phone calls, Miss, I can't take this. I need to get out. They're dealing with a lot. I'm not saying all of them. There's a lot of them are just fine with what's going on. They're okay being at home and, going online and learning online. But there's a lot of them who are struggling, especially in school learning online. But we have to find a way. Like, I'm trying to find a way to help them. And it's very difficult that I can't go over there like I used to and say, okay, what can I do to help you? It's all these phone calls, and it's they're calling other people and saying, listen, I'm dealing with this young student right now. Can you have your time to deal with them? And I have always been grateful that everyone who has volunteered their time with Trust 15 and know the work I'm doing and trust me for the things that I'm doing for my community, they absolutely say yes. And that means a lot because I cannot do this by myself, right? There's so many people who can help, but all I need to do is make sure my voice is heard so their voices can be heard.
That word trust keeps coming up a lot. How difficult is it for these kids and this community to trust anyone right now, especially?
Very, very, very difficult. It wasn't easy when I first started going out in the community, but I wanted to give you a little story about that. When I was going around the community, handing out the flyers, telling the young kids about the program, before that, I was walking around the community, and two of the girls that I was at a school saw me there. And they go, Mrs. Brown, what are you doing here? I go, I live in this community. They thought I lived in Mississauga or Oakville. I don't know where they got that idea. So when I told them I live around the corner, they were like shocked. The next day when I went to work at the school I was at, what a difference. They were more comfortable speaking to me than ever. Then I realized that I built that trust. So that's why when I went out in the community, it was very easy to let people know I live in this community. I lived here all my life, and I understand what is going on in this community. You have to live in the community to understand what is going on. I lived here all my life. So I was able to share that with them, and that's where the trust started to come. Now when people see me, they know who I am because they trust me and they hear what is going on in their lives. And they know that I'm there to help them, and I'm not going to broadcast it or put them down. I'm there to help them. So the trust is very difficult, but I have proven myself in this community that they can trust me.
Okay, I want to look at a few pictures right now. All right, so let's take a look at this very first picture here. Let me see. Who are you with, Marcy? Hold on. Can we pull out Michelle Obama?
Oh my gosh, that is a story I will never forget. Empire Club, Economic Club of Canada called me and said to me that they had 40 tickets for me to bring kids to go hear Michelle Obama speak. I said, great. So I picked the 40 kids and it was great. They were all excited. And then 2 days before the event, I get another phone call. Marcia, you are picked to see Michelle Obama. I go, what? And they said that you can bring 2 kids with you, any kids from your program, to meet Michelle Obama. I was almost in tears. And I was able to pick 2 of these kids. One of them is alumni now, and one is in her final year. And I went to their parents and I shared with them that they were going to meet Michelle Obama. The day that we met her, I'm telling you, I had to push the kids in first. They had to be the first to see her. And the way she treated us, and she was even proud of me. She's saying the work that you are doing is making a difference. And you say hello to those 40 other kids that you brought with them because we all care about them and we want the best. So I would never forget that.
Tell people what it was like as you were walking up to her.
Oh my goodness. It was like a light, a bright light. That's what I saw.
She had her arms.
She had her arms open up to me, and she gave me the biggest hug. I didn't even want to let go of her, right? Because that hug wasn't like a hug. Like, remember, she's never met me before, but the way she hugged me, the way she looked at me, the way she spoke to me and those 2 young girls, it's like we knew each other for years. That was the conversation. And hearing her saying how proud she was of those 2 young kids, and then turning to me and said, but I'm also proud of you, of the work that you are doing for these young kids and the many ones that you have in your community. I will never forget that. For someone who's just meeting me for the first time, I was very honored that I could share what I was doing with Trust 15, and she was able to tell me that how proud she was of me. I'll never forget that.
Okay, let's take a look at the next picture right now. There's our Lieutenant Governor, Elizabeth Dowdeswell.
Oh, okay, my friend.
Some spiffy-looking young gentleman that I'm seeing right off.
Yes. Oh, that was an amazing day. I was invited. I knew Elizabeth before because she loved the work I do with Girls on the Rise. And we came up with, it was 2 years ago, to have an opportunity to bring 100 of my kids up to her office. And they got a tour of the Queen's Park. They got an opportunity to have, and then we had tea and and drinks with her. And the kids were able to do a presentation and express how much this program means to them. And till this day, she's always considered Trust 15 one of her favorites.
Yeah,
Right?
she does dedicate some time to it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next picture. I remember this one. Sophia Gregoire Trudeau.
Oh, yes. In 2016, I think in January, I met Ms. Trudeau in that event. And you got to know about Marcia Brown. When I feel that these kids need to know somebody, I am going up to them. Right?
I know.
I was able to go up to her and I was able to tell her, hi, my name is Marcia Brown. I run this organization. I have all these kids. I think by the time I was finished talking to her, she was almost in tears and said, we need to connect. And I was able to connect with her. And she said, well, you got to bring the kids to Ottawa. Well, I didn't have any funding back then to do it. And all of a sudden, God's grace, money came. And I was able to take 56 kids to Ottawa with me. And the day that we went into the bus to go to Ottawa, because they were going to go a tour of the university, I told all the kids and all the parents right there, I said, oh, and by the way, on July 19th, the kids are also going to have high tea with Madame Trudeau. Like, I love doing that. I love to surprise kids. I'll tell them we're going to Ottawa. We're going to go see the place. We're going to do that. But then at the last minute, when everyone's out there before I go on the bus, I let them know. Yeah. You should have seen the look on their face. They were just, you're lying. I go, do I lie? Right? But they were very grateful. And she spoke to them and she treated each one of them like her own child. I love that. She gave them the full attention. They sang to her. They gave their testimonies why this program means so much to them. And guess what? They will never forget. And each one of them got an individual picture of Madame Trudeau by her. So I will never forget that too. So they have something to look forward to, all the great things that are happening.
We're talking right now with Marcia Brown, who is the founder of Trust 15, which is a community organization that helps kids in North Etobicoke, a lot of kids at risk, the community itself at risk and marginalized. And Marcia is doing her best to change lives. And this is done not only through cash, but through mentoring, through caring, and through presenting hope. I have one more picture I want to show. Forget about, hold on, just a second before we show it, hold on. So forget about Obama.
Okay.
Forget about the prime minister's wife. Forget about the lieutenant governor. Here, this is what the kids love, this visit, right? Hold on. Okay. There's DeMar Carroll, Toronto Raptors.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to tell you this story.
What did you do?
So I got invited by Mayor John Tory because DeMar Carroll was going to talk about, because he had some kind of issue, some kind of health issue. I can't remember exactly, but I was able to bring 20 kids with me, and they were able to hear him speak. And then afterwards, we got to go inside, and the kids got to meet with them. And John was the one who said, you need to know Marcia Brown. You need to know this young lady.
John Tory, by the way, is a huge supporter of Trust 15. Yeah.
Huge supporter. So next thing you know, I'm talking to DeMar Carroll. And when I told him how many kids I had, I could see the look in his eyes. Go, what? I go, oh, yeah, I have all these kids in the Etobicoke. They love it. He said, we got to do something. Next thing you know, I got a phone call from his assistant saying DeMar Carroll wants to do something special for the kids. So we came up with an idea during the Christmas holiday that this would be a great opportunity for him to come. So I had all the kids with me at in the school, and they were all there talking about the program, because I always like the kids to get together and talk about what Trust 15 means to them, what they have learned since September to December. And then I had one of my alumni, the only one who knew about that DeMar Carroll was coming. And then all of a sudden I stepped out, DeMar Carroll came in, and then as the door opened, the place went ballistic. Kids were crying, kids were like running up there. You can see the look on their faces, how happy they were. Even DeMar Carroll, I know to this day, still remembers that day, how special it was for the kid. Even afterwards, he whispered in my ear and said, no, we got to do something more. He loves the bowl. So he was able to take 10 kids from my program and they went bowling with him. He gave them running shoes, oh my gosh, Raptors shirts and everything you could imagine. And these kids were so grateful. Till this day, I still consider him one of my favorites because he really went out of the way to make sure that these kids, and he believed everything I said about what I was doing for these kids, and he wanted to find ways to help this organization.
Yeah, poor Demar. As soon as you started talking to him, he didn't
Yeah.
stand a chance. He just didn't stand a chance. He was taken in by your spell.
I grabbed him in.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what happens with these kids, especially when it comes to the mentorship programs. Now, let's talk about something you and I talked about not so long ago, and that was you had a few boys who were wanting to get into engineering.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we got someone from the Consulting Engineers of Ontario to come in and talk to them. What difference does that make? Why can't they just read a book or watch something on YouTube?
No. They need to speak to that individual. They need to hear the story of why they want to get into the program. They need to hear what they can do to get to that point. Like, don't get me wrong, reading books and, watching little videos, they're okay. But bringing in that individual who's going to take his time to show these young boys, this is what I had to do to get where I am today. I'm telling you, when he came in and spoke to those two young men and told them what he was doing, you could see a change in these young men. Do you know where they are today? Because of that lovely men that you brought in.
I have not heard the update. I'm sorry.
Oh, you haven't heard the update?
No.
They are both at McMaster University doing engineering, and they finished their first year.
Folks, okay, sorry.
I don't want to cry, but this is
I know, because if you met these young gentlemen, it was not, I want to be an engineer. I want to be an engineer. That's it. No, there was one of them. He said, I don't want to just be an engineer. I want to create an engineering clearinghouse. I want to create, it was a tie? I think it was.
Tevon.
Yeah. And so he wanted to create a firm of engineers that he wanted to run. And he wanted it to be structural engineers, or if you need a consulting engineer, or if you need a sound engineer, anything, he wanted an entire umbrella. So thinking big, this is what you gave him.
Yep, I did. And now when he told, and when they run down the hallway and they call you and say, Mrs. Brown, guess what? I got accepted at McMaster University. And listen, I cry a lot, eh? That day I went home.
No, you do.
Of joy, because now those young boys have hope. They have an opportunity to go places that no one can take away from them, nobody. And I am so grateful. And then to hear that they finished their first year, and now guess what they're doing? They're running and now they still come back and they're helping with the Men of Distinction program this year.
You have a lot of people who come back.
Yeah, I do.
You had somebody who was working for Microsoft came back not too long ago.
Yeah, Gavin, he came back. He was the one who told Microsoft about Trust 15 and how it changed his life and where he is today. And they came in and they saw my program and they took over a day program of understanding all the data and everything about Microsoft, because of what Gavin did. And this is what I don't have to do. I don't have to tell my alumni, hey, you need to help out. You need to do this. No, they're calling me, asking me, what can I do? And because of this coronavirus right now, let me tell you something. 20 of my alumni have called, Miss, what can we do to help out in the program? What can we do? That says volume. That says a lot of volume, that these kids, they know their purpose because of what me and many of the people who volunteer and help me out has given to these young kids. And now they're taking on the role as being leaders for these young kids. And it means a lot, especially in the community that they live in. They see a different life. They see hope again. They see that they have an opportunity to make it.
And let's remember, there are so many of these kids. Yes, there are some kids who are going to come from broken homes or less than ideal situations. Mm-hmm. There are also so many kids who come from so loving families, and I just could not imagine being a mother or a father to be able to stand there and watch helplessly because I can't provide that hope for my child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm worried that my child is going to end up remaining here forever in in this community instead. Well, I want them to be in the community, but to be doing better.
To do better, yes.
Most
But I
definitely.
help those parents too,
Yeah.
right? People have to understand, yes, I am helping a lot of these young kids, but we have to think about the parents who are, with these young children. I'm there to them to give them the hope and the
Mhm.
encouragement that they need. And I have heard things saying, I'm afraid, Marcy, if they go out in the community, what can I do? And I have to give them the strength to know that they are an amazing parent. They're doing an amazing job. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be in their life so I can help them along that path. I told them you should never walk alone. Once you're part of Trust 15, you're part of a family who cares about you. And I will make sure, as long as your child is part of Trust 15, they are going to get the best. And that's what I do. I spoil my kids, right?
I know. I
They
know.
do well. They take me seriously. When I say, let me see your report card, they have to give me their report card. I want to see what's
Oh
on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Don't think that. Okay, don't let Marcia's outer smile fool you, folks. Okay, I've seen her talk a little bit more sternly to the kids when they need it,
Oh, yes.
and to the adults. I've
Oh,
seen that as well.
yes.
Uh, yeah, she's a mother hen. You're a mother hen.
I am. I am. I'm tough on them. I
Good.
care for them. They know. I said the same way that I treat my own children is the same way I'm going to treat you, right? And they have done well. And if they did not respect me, they wouldn't be there.
Okay, great question from Pam here. What keeps you going, Marcia? You are giving to the kids and parents, all of you. Marcia,
Mhm.
I've seen you down.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen you feel discouraged. I've seen you feel as though sometimes even, why keep going on, or and it's easy to fall into that, but you always get out. Why?
Okay. Because of grace of God, that keeps me going. I'll be honest with you. But I have had my days where I have been down. There, we live in a world where people will make comments to you who are going to say certain things that are going to try and bring you down. And sometimes you kind of get into that circle for a few minutes, and then I have to force myself out because then all of a sudden there's a knock on my door. There's this young person who's looking for me for support, and I have to put my personal um, feelings and what I'm going through aside so I can make joy into their lives. It is not easy to run Trust 15. I love it. I have given my life to it. This is, yes, I get paid and I do what I have to do. This is not a job, a 9 to 5 job. This is 365 days a year. Sometimes I don't stop because there's so many of them that need me. And I'm going to be honest with everyone. I love to be happy all the time, but I do have my sad days. I always wonder, do I have enough money to run my programs? I have to apply for the grant. I have to do this. And it's not easy all the time because there's so many other people doing all these different programs. But I want to show people that Trust 15 is a unique program. This is not a program that we have kids in the program and then, okay, you're in our program, bye, the numbers are there. No, we have to show results. We have to show that these kids are going to be taking over this area and showing that they're going to be doing great in their life. So it's a lot. And I wanted to be honest with everyone. It's not easy all the time, but I do get my joy when I see look at the pictures, waking up in the morning and going to these programs and hi, Mrs. Brown, or talking to everybody. You can see they're happy. And that what make me happy. And a lot of people say, how do you make them stay? You got to love them like your
I
own.
think I think the question is how do you get them to go home when after
Yeah,
this is
and
done?
true. And I do have a heart like I will have permits in the school. Like I might have it from 3:30 to 6 o'clock. I have to put it like to 7, right? Because they don't want to go home. It's not like they don't have a loving home. They just love to be around with their friends. They
Yeah.
like to talk. Even when I bring presenters in, right? And the presenters are supposed to stay there till 6 o'clock. They're usually there till seven
Yeah.
o'clock because they're still talking to the kids. They're hugging the kids. The kids feel that, oh my gosh, this individual wants to talk to me and want to know about me. You know how much that can change a child's life? We just have to give that time to these young kids. And this is why I work very hard for them and I will fight for each one of them to make sure they get that opportunity.
I want you to talk to people elsewhere in the city, in other communities, people like you. I've met so many people like you I was in Flemington Park a couple of years ago, and there was such an active group there, and they honestly care about their kids as well. and I'm sure that they get down as well. So can you talk to other Marcia Browns out there right now, how to stay with it?
I'm going to tell you, do not give up. I know each day it's going to be difficult. You're going to be receiving calls that you don't even know how you're going to handle. You're going to get people who are going to put you down because they don't think you're capable of doing that. Don't think about them. Think about why you are there. Think about the kids who look up to you and want to hear from you. They don't care about those other people who are putting you down. Yes, it's very difficult, but forget about them. You know your purpose. You know why you were put here on earth or put there in this community to make a difference. And because of you, you have changed so many lives. And without you, they were not going to go anywhere. So I thank you and praise you for the work that you're doing. That's who you need to hear from, not the backstabbers, not the people who want to bring you down, but the people who are going to give you hope. That's where you're going to get your success.
Wow. Right. Once again, you can go right now, and I'm asking everyone to do this to help out these kids. Go to trust15.com. All you got to do is donate $15. That's it. Very simple. $15 a month is great as well. And Marcia can do amazing things with that. You can get in touch with Marcia too. People are saying, how do I help out? How can I get involved? You can just simply, here's your email, marcia.brown@trust15.com.
Get in contact with me. We all can make a difference, all of us.
So you can get in contact. Let me see. What kind of people should get in contact with you? First of all, rich people. Rich people, you need to get in touch with Marcia and help her out. But also people who are in business, who are community leaders.
Yes.
Who else are you looking for?
Doctors, lawyers, people who will, people who have money. Let's start off with that. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Programs like these are usually, they don't get a lot, right? And sometimes you have to prove yourself to many that these programs work. I remember one person telling me, Marcia, if you didn't bring me in here, when you told me you had back then I had like maybe 150 kids, I would think, no, that's impossible in that area. But when I saw the kids and saw how different they were, and you're showing me the other people who are mentoring them and showing the time, I knew that I had to be involved. Until this day, we are in 2020, he's still involved with Trust 15 and still find ways to have people give money to the program. We need money to make this program continue. Yes, I need to make sure that I'm able to support these kids. Yes, I need to have money to support my staff who are helping. It's very important. They have given their time and sacrifice. But once we work together, we can change this world. What I also need, I need doctors, I need a lot of mentors who will take their time to talk to these kids. Some of them don't even know what they want to do in life right now. But hearing your story, that's very important. Hearing where you have come from makes a huge difference. Showing that you care and that you're going to be with them on that path, guarantee things are going to happen and things are going to change. So I'm welcoming a lot of people to help me out. I'm not afraid to speak up, as Kevin tells you. I speak from my heart. This is real me. This is Marcia Brown, the one who cares about the community and wants to make a difference. And if I see you, I will come and tell you, please come in and support these young kids because your story is important. And I know you will feel the same way. So take that opportunity to know Trust 15 and the work that I do.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So once again, go to the website, make a donation, email Marcia and offer some help. What's the number one thing on your shopping list, do you think?
Right now, well, one of the things that I got that was interesting, Miss, I want a T-shirt. I want running shoes, because summer is coming. You have to understand. And let's talk about my men of distinction, my high school kids. You remember, a lot of them were supposed to get jobs this summer. Yes, I know they're going to get money, but they can't go out and get anything, right? So little simple things like that, they're just looking for. One person said to me, Miss, I need hair products. Remember, I got Mark Anthony involved. I listen to these kids and they tell me what they want. And I say to them, I am going to try my best to make sure I get what I can for you. And they know, and they always say, Miss, whatever you can for us. They know I'm going to do my best. And I know when people hear my voice, they're hearing the truth coming out of me. That's why trust is so important for me. Because once you know me and you know the trust that I have for my community, it goes a long way. And I want people to know that about me.
Now, in clothing, I mean, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but
Yeah,
I would rather these kids get new shoes and new
exactly.
clothes. It's wonderful to want to donate the clothes your kids have grown out of. That's great. But there's also something called dignity
Exactly. Thank
of having something that is the first. So I thank you for all of your offers. I've
Yeah,
had people say I'd like to donate some clothes, but
yeah.
I'd rather donate the money and let you go get the new clothes so that they're own and they're the first ones who wear it.
Exactly. And that's very important. And, one day someone did donate some clothes to me, and I did not want to give it to the kids. So what I did, I brought it home, I washed it. It looked brand new by the time I was finished because I knew this child needed it,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't want him to feel that he was second class. You remember, I gave these kids names. You're men of distinction. You're ladies on the rise. You're girls on the rise, and you're boys of excellence. They should live by those names. So that's why when I gave him the clothes and said, hey, you are a man of distinction and you're going to be wearing it with pride, right? I didn't want to give him something, not saying that's nothing wrong donating stuff, but these kids get too much of it and sometimes they don't feel that they're first. And I want to make sure that they are first in everything. That's what it should be. And that's what I do all the time.
Jeez. All right. Marcia Brown, thank you so much for
You're
this.
welcome.
So you're coming back Sunday,
Sunday.
and we're going to see. I can't promise. I don't know what'll happen, but at least we'll get the word out there, and we'll see what everybody as a community can do for your community.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
It will mean a lot. I know these kids are very excited when I tell them, tell me what you want. And I've always said to them, I will do my best, right? I will do my best, what I can do for you guys. And these kids are not selfish kids. They want a car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go through their heart what they really need. But remember, they're still kids. There's certain things that they want that I would give for my children that maybe their parents can't. So I try my best to make sure they get the same opportunity. Right. And you know what? The best part is that I praise these kids when I see their report cards. Even if they got a C, you know what I look at? I look at their attendance. If they're 90% of the time and they got a C, then I know they've learned what they need to learn, and I still praise them. And I have to make sure that they feel that way. I don't want them to be put down in any way possible, because once you do that, you shut them off. Then they're going to have no motivation. And this is why I have to bring in great people, and I have to talk to them, and I have to have my mentors and my facilitators come and tell them how wonderful these kids are. That's very important. And I want to tell you one thing. What I tell these kids is from James Baldwin. Your crown has already been bought and paid for. All you have to do is wear it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marcia, for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And we will talk to you on Sunday.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Marcia Brown talking to us, and again, we're going to get back on Sunday. Wow, it does get emotional. It does get emotional. So, what do you think? What do you think? And in these times too, we cannot escape the times we are talking about right now, and the standing up to racism. And we have these communities where a disproportionate number of people in these, in some cases, impoverished and marginalized community, a disproportionate number are Black. And then it becomes a downward spiral. How do you get ahead when you're in one of these communities? Because the one thing that is missing, not just money, but the one thing that is missing is hope. And when you give up hope, you give up the future. And so you end up repeating the same life all over again. And this isn't just racism. This is oppression. We have decided to warehouse a certain people in a certain area that we don't have to travel through very often and be reminded of it. But, I look and I see the kids. They don't know. They don't know. Some of those younger kids you see in the playgrounds, oblivious to everything that's going on, and maybe not exposed yet to the problems in their world. And this is one place we can start. You want to talk about where we can start ending racism, is we need to reach out to all communities and bring them back into the fold. Bring them into the fold, not back into the fold. Bring them into the fold. So, yeah, I'm guilting you, okay? I'm guilting you right now a bit. So I just want you to go to trust15.com and just give $15. You know what? Hearing about those two boys that went to McMaster, that is a huge step forward. That is a huge step forward to solving this problem that we are having now. Because you know who's going to come up with the answers? It's not going to be a bunch of old white guys. It's going to be these kids. And they're going to come back to this community. And they're going to bring with them hope. And then maybe some other little boy, little girl say, oh, okay, I can shoot for that. You know what? It's just so hard to put into words the need here and the need for hope. Remember Asante talking to us last week, and his big word, and the one that just blew my mind was the word hope. And I never thought about that. That's the difference between, you want to know what the opposite of anxiety is. The opposite of anxiety is hope. Anxiety is worried about the future. Hope is thinking good thoughts about the future ahead. And you can help make a difference. Marcia is making a difference every single day of her life. So I love knowing that I know her and that I can call her a friend. There is a woman that is she is a woman of distinction, okay? And we should all aspire to be like her. So she's coming back Sunday. We're going to see what we can do to help out our kids, our community. So please don't say North Etobicoke is, well, that's that community. No, it's part of our community. And these kids are our kids. And it doesn't matter. You know what? Black, white, they're Hispanic, whatever. There are all sorts of families, all sorts of kids. And they all want exactly the same thing. And race doesn't mean a thing. They want that hope and they want a future. And that's all any kid wants. And that's all any kid deserves. So let's do that and let's try and make that happen. Let's see what's coming up later on this week, shall we? Hey, tomorrow, Pinball is here. I'm glad he's on Skype because when he hugs me, it hurts. And then on Friday, the always fun Joy McCarthy will be talking to us. I think we're going to talk about smoothies. I think that's what we finally decided on. And then all next week, getting ready to go back to the new normal. We need to help you get mentally prepared for the end of isolation. So I want to thank Marcia for joining me, and she's going to be back on Sunday. Pinball tomorrow. So we need to take care of these kids, right? So until tomorrow, take care of yourself and take care of each other.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even